Olá a todos, quero convidar-vos para subscreverem o nosso canal, podem fazê-lo aqui em baixo. Além disso, tem aqui na nossa descrição o link para a nossa página oficial e para o nosso Facebook. Vai ser a única forma para poder fazer o seguimento de alguns vídeos que não vão ser publicados aqui. O YouTube, neste momento, censura todos os conteúdos que não estão de acordo com a retórica oficial dos nossos governos. Na nossa página oficial iremos publicar conteúdo que não pode ser publicado aqui no YouTube, nomeadamente vídeos próprios e vídeos também de terceiros, que são censurados regularmente. Neste episódio visitei Nuno Santiago, um amigo de há longa data que está a viver há 2 anos na Suécia. Tive a oportunidade de tomar um pequeno almoço com o staff da empresa. É um momento em que toda a equipa se junta para confraternizar. São momentos relaxados e com uma normalidade que há muito tempo já não via quem vem de um país como Portugal. Fica bem clara a forma descontraída com que os suecos estão a enfrentar toda esta pandemia. Antes de falar com o Nuno, tive a oportunidade de fazer algumas perguntas a um dos gestores da empresa.
So, welcome to Bontech in Sweden, and you are now in Värnamo. The company is actually growing even during the pandemic. We were of course a little bit scared in the beginning of last year that we were heavily affected by this situation, but it turned out actually that the business has grown since the pandemic started. If you compare to other companies around in this region, I think they have the same situation. They've also been a lot to work, I would say. Some of them working as a subcontractor for the automobile industry. They have of course been affected. In the beginning I think they have a really struggle up to summertime, but now the volumes have come back for them, and I think they are also up and running. But what we've heard is that other countries have shut down much more than we have done. We have tried to have business as normal as much as possible. I think Sweden are working with recommendation instead of regulations. That have been one big change or between Sweden and other countries. And yeah, seems to be pretty effective, but of course some people doesn't care about it, and that's a problem, of course.
Na Suécia não há pessoas que não se preocupem, simplesmente não há pessoas que obcequem ou que fiquem obcecadas com o vírus a ponto de ficarem imobilizadas, paralisadas completamente. Descobriram uma maneira de, com algum cuidado, manterem as suas vidas relativamente normais, continuarem com os seus negócios, se for possível continuar com os seus negócios, e não ficarem simplesmente congelados nesta bolha que supostamente devia ser de curta duração e está a estender-se demasiado, a ponto de sacrificarem as suas vidas, porque basicamente toda a gente que está parada à espera que se resolva a situação tem as suas vidas em modo pausa, em stop completo. Vamos ver se conseguem sair bem do outro lado deste período. Eu não acredito que nos outros países a atitude tenha sido a melhor atitude, ou as medidas tenham sido as melhores medidas. Eu estou aqui na Suécia, sou um bocado suspeito, mas eu tenho que concordar com o que foi feito aqui. É claro que há pessoas que estão a pagar um custo alto, como há sempre gente que paga um custo alto quando novas doenças aparecem. Não quer dizer que todas as pessoas tenham que ficar condicionadas da mesma maneira e tenham que sofrer as mesmas consequências. Mesmo quando há solidariedade, a minha solidariedade não quer dizer que eu tenha que sofrer o mesmo. Tenho simplesmente que dizer que ajudarei se for necessário, se me for pedida ajuda ou se eu a solicitar e for aceito. Mas não quer dizer que eu tenha que sofrer o mesmo. Quando me apetece descontrair e relaxar um bocado, é esta voltinha que dou. Pego na moto ou no carro, venho junto ao lago, sempre a ver água, a água sempre me deixa um bocado mais calmo. Venho até aqui à ilha, depois faço esta travessiazinha, 10 minutos, no ferry mini ferry. Agora, recentemente, há notícias de que o apoio político a que haja essas mudanças na lei está a crescer. E se esse apoio político crescer, e se for suficiente para que haja realmente a possibilidade de, com base em lei, o governo encerrar negócios e limitar a atividade das pessoas, isso vai acontecer também aqui na Suécia. O que me parece é que, se isso acontecer aqui na Suécia, muito se vai perder. Porque, como já disse, eu acabo por concordar com a maneira como a Suécia abordou esta situação do Covid. Agiram talvez tarde, eles reconhecem que houve erros, agiram tarde na proteção às pessoas mais velhas, mas não agiram demasiadamente depressa para prejudicar a situação dos, entre aspas, mais novos ou dos mais saudáveis, ou o que quer que se queira chamar ao grupo das pessoas que não estão no grupo de risco. Eu temo que esses impactos aqui na Suécia mudem muitas coisas e que se fique igual a todos os outros países da Europa, com extremas restrições e com as limitações às liberdades individuais e às opções das pessoas, que eu, à partida, não gostaria de aceitar. Pelo menos não vou aceitar levianamente e sem algum desgosto. A forte recomendação de que não é possível ou que não é recomendável que haja agrupamentos com mais do que 8 pessoas mata completamente os negócios dos restaurantes, dos bares, dos cafés, tudo. Os restaurantes continuam a operar, portanto não estão a seguir a forte recomendação. Se houver apoio legal para que essa lei vá para a frente, aqui, tal como em todos os outros países da Europa, onde essas limitações são uma realidade, os proprietários de restaurantes vão sofrer muito.
De seguida, tivemos a oportunidade de entrevistar Eva, uma fotógrafa sueca.
I think they did all right from the beginning to make the Swedish people to make their own decision how to act with this coronavirus, to take their own responsibility in it and not to shut down everything. I'm happy with that. I can go in my city without mask if I don't want to have it. It's my own responsibility and I enjoy that. Business are getting better. It was stopped for me as a photographer. It was on hold in March and then suddenly it's getting better and better and better. And now I feel like people are getting along with it and try to make a new reality out of this virus. We have to live with it and we have to do the best of it. And people do. Yes, we hear that we are the we are the country that didn't do as everybody else did, close down everything, and that's why we have so much dead people behind us. And I don't know if I can agree with that, because I don't think that's the reason. Because if you see to the elder people care, it was a bit. We had problems with that before, and the problems get worse because of Corona, and that's the problem because they haven't got the how to speak in English. It's difficult. All the all the equipment to cope with it. It was the care, the health care that got it, but the care for the elder didn't have any masks or all the stuff that you need to protect yourself from the virus. So that's why.
Por último, encontrei-me com Jenny num agradável café no centro de Estocolmo. Ela contou-nos um pouco de como foi a sua vida ao longo do último ano.
Well, I am very pleased with how we handle the situation of COVID-19 in Sweden, because we are told to work from home if possible and to only try to spend time with the ones that we live with, and but we are allowed to go out. Restaurants are open, even though they close much earlier than normal. Cafes are open, and we are also asked. It's actually become mandatory to use the mask in our metro and commuter trains at certain hours. However, if one doesn't use the mask, it's okay, and they even will provide us with one if they find it necessary. So it's a lot of, compared to what I've heard about what's going on outside of Sweden, the level of liberty is way higher. I think that is really good for your mental health and also for your physical health, since you're allowed to be outside. And my life has not changed much. I mean, the cinema is closed, museums are closed, restaurants closed earlier. I think that is good. It's something definitely that I can live with. Of course, the financial situation is affected by people that work in those areas. But my life has not changed much. So I'm really happy about what it has been like so far in Sweden. If you ask people in Sweden, we think it's good. The situation is handled well. I've had COVID in November. I'm doing fine now. Fortunately, I have not had anyone close passing, which I'm very grateful for. But I don't think it is a good idea just to close everything down, because the mental health is as important as the physical health. I had mild symptoms, thankfully. So I was home. I was isolating myself for a week. I had high fever one day. I had headache, and I lost my sense of smell and taste. But after that, I went back to work. I could order a test, so they came out with a guy in a taxi came out with a test. I could take the test at home, and then he picked it up. And after a day or two, I got an answer online that I was positive. So that was also handled very well. Of course, you can go to get a test at a hospital, but they advise you not to move out of your home when you do have symptoms. So it's very well how they have handled that with tests that are available at home. Yeah, there's a lot about it on media about that they are closing down schools, that they are making it mandatory to use masks. But I also have many friends in let's say France, and so I've heard from them how they are handling the situation and what they are told from the authorities, the government, what they need to do. So they're very frustrated and do not feel well about the situation, because they really hate being isolated.
It's funny that you asked, because I've actually found a new hobby. During spring, we were a lot more concerned. I mean, my friends were quite scared about the virus, so no one didn't want to meet me. Now they do, but of course we do it outside and we keep a distance. But during spring, most of my friends kept to themselves, especially since they have children. So I started walking outside by myself. I was listening to a book, and while walking I started picking garbage, because although Stockholm is quite a clean city, there is garbage in the streets, and especially by the water. There's a lot of water in Stockholm, so there are a lot of stretches next to the water. So I started walking, picking garbage, and I bought myself one of those garbage pickers. So now I still do that. I have picked quite a lot of bags of garbage, and I think that is something that we all should do out of respect for nature, because no animals living in nature want to have all the plastic and metal that there is. So that's what I've been doing. that did not want to meet me this spring, she has now bought a garbage picker as well. So now we go out together, and we go out maybe in the forest. We always bring bags and garbage pickers, and then we have tea and sandwiches with us, and we make it like an excursion. It always feels good when we've done it. And then she introduced it to her sister, so now her sister wants to buy a garbage picker as well, because she's so taken by the feeling of, you just get a really good feeling after having cleaned and made nature more pretty. So, and when I do go out doing this, quite a few people come up and say good job, and I think it has an effect on other people. Well, in order to be in nature and experience nature in a positive way, it is important that it is clean. So we all have that responsibility, and I think it is spreading. It is a new hobby of the pandemic. We, of course, COVID has entered a lot of elderly centers. So there have been many deaths at elderly centers here in Sweden. As far as the elderly people that are not in elderly centers, like my mom and my friends' parents, we keep a distance. We spend time with them, but outside, if it's possible. We talk on the phone a lot. Several of my friends did not spend Christmas with their parents like they normally do. So instead they had Zoom meetings. So we take care of them like that. We keep a distance, but we know also that they are not happy if when they don't meet us, which is normal. So of course you try to do what is proper based on the situation. Oh, my mom, she goes out, but she tries to. If she didn't go out, she would go crazy. So she goes to the supermarket at times where there are not many people. She goes for walks. She tries not to take the subway or the bus. But if she does, she wears the mask, and she tries to do it at times when there are not many people. So, but some elderly have isolated themselves. It depends on their level of fear of the virus.